Hello again, Chosen Undead. We're back with Dark Souls. This is Fiasco. And so we have finished Undead Asylum, and we are just here in Firelink Shrine. We've just leveled up. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the initial item run. So this is a run that any character can do and any character can benefit from. What it's going to do is we're going to get some of the obvious and some of the less obvious pieces of equipment that one can find in and around Firelink Shrine, and we're going to level up our Estus Flask as well, and then we're going to get ourselves set up to head up there into Undeadburg. So the first thing we pick up is the Humanity. So the Humanity that's the resource I was talking about earlier. So I'm currently a little undead dude, and if I use that Humanity, I can turn human and reclaim some of my humanity. So the first thing we do is we come up here and we're going to go into the rightmost archway and continue all the way back here. You're going to pick up, I think this is fire bombs. Yeah. So fire bombs are basically just a grenade. I mean, just think about it that way. It's a little flame weapon. You can throw it. There are some enemies where it's excellent. It's a great range attack if you don't otherwise have one. The next thing is we're going to talk to Petrus of Thorland. He is a bit standoffish at first and tells you to go away. You keep talking to him and he feels bad about it, and he gives you a little copper coin or whatever. You keep bugging him and he lets you in your covenant. Now I am already in the covenant because I am a cleric. But, I mean, just whatever. Join the covenant. It is the way of white. So learn his gesture. Shrug. It's kind of a fun gesture. All right. And then exhaust this dialogue. You're going to learn that he's got a couple of buddies who are coming, and we'll see them later. And then you can go to his shop. So if you are a cleric type person like me, he sells a whole bunch of miracles. Heal is one of the most important ones for starting off. They're all good. Homeward is excellent. It's a homeward bone you can reuse. I mean, come on, that's that's awesome. He'll also sell you the basic talisman, which you don't need to buy from him because we're going to get it around the corner, and the Thorland talisman, which is excellent and totally worth the money if you have any interest at all in using miracles. So let me explain that. The canvas talisman. Nope. There you go. Canvas talisman scales off of faith. You see the bottom there under the parameter bonus in the bottom right. There's a little arm curling. That's the strength. The big hand. That's kind of like dex. A little candle. That's intelligence. And then this, I don't know, sparkle or whatever. And that's faith. So this adds... the higher your faith score is, the more it adds to the effects of your miracles. The Thorland talisman, this is a fun little bit of lore. The Thorland talisman does not have any faith scaling. And what's amusing is it says here this was granted to high-ranking Thorland clerics, i.e. There's sort of a commentary about how, I guess, how genuine their faith actually was. It doesn't scale off faith. It has no faith scaling whatsoever. So anyway, keep on going up the stairs here. We're going to go ahead and grab another soul packet. And then we're going to pop back down here to this elevator, and we're going to jump down. And don't worry, you're not falling far enough for it to matter. And then come out here, and there's a bunch of these chests. So this is what a chest looks like. And pick up the cracked red eye orb. This is your PvP item. You'll use this to invade another player's world. Later on, you'll find a non-consumable version of that. You'll pick up the Morning Star, and oh look, the talisman, so don't buy it from him. The Morning Star is kind of like the mace. It's a very similar moveset. It is also a strike weapon, and I'll get to that in a second, but it also has a cool bleed effect. Pick up, I think this is the Homeward Bone? Yep. Homeward Bone. So Homeward Bone's basically wherever you are in the world, if you want to go back to a fire, pop one of those and you can do it. So one of the nice things about faith characters is they just have a spell that does that. No, I can't cast it yet because I don't have the faith for it, but later on. And the Lloyd's Talisman. So that's cool, useful, because there are monsters in the game that look just like these chests. They are called Mimic Demons? Just Mimics, whatever. They look just like these chests, and if you go in there and pick the item up, it'll eat you. and the Lloyd's Talisman will make it docile again. All right, so the next part of the item run, this is where things get a little tricky. So down there are a bunch of skeletons, and this particular area, we are not powerful enough to handle it. It outlevels us quite a bit. So the trick here is just don't fight anything. Try and sprint past all of it, and we're going to pick up some of these items because they are useful. So first thing is a soul packet, a pretty big one. And we're going to come around here, keep going. And then the next thing is the Zweihander, which is an excellent ultra greatsword. It's not my playstyle, but I do appreciate that there are plenty of folks who love the greatsword playstyle. And pick up the winged spear, also not my playstyle. That is a large spear that scales off of decks. And then we're going to come around here. There's another road that goes down. Pick up the Caduceus round shield. Not a great shield in terms of just raw fighting, but it's excellent for resisting magic damage. And then we're going to try our luck basically and try and pick up this last soul packet over here. And then in my test run, I screwed this up. So let's see if I get it. All right. And then, oh God, oh God, oh God. Let me get out of there. Okay, cool. So just keep on running, keep on running, keep on running. There's some more items over here, but we're going to probably try and reset the enemies before we go and get them. So the trick here is basically just move fast. A lot of the enemies have kind of poor tracking, and they're not great at following you around. Rest at the bonfire. All of those skeletons that are chasing me get reset. Every time you rest at a bonfire, the whole world state gets reset. And you'll see kind of these cool phantoms of other players who are hanging out in the world around you. So that guy's wearing Havel's armor and I think a Black Knight axe. I'm not sure. It's one of the best parts about this game is ostensibly in-universe time is kind of wibbly-wobbly. So you touch that bloodstain, you see somebody else die. This is how somebody else died. And you get little glimpses into all the other players' experiences. And people see me too, I assume. People are out there seeing me. And you can summon other players into your universe. So go around the corner and pick up that soul packet. And it's just kind of a cool little glimpse into all other folks enjoying this game. And I love it. I love the way that it's done. It's very subtle. And come up to the stairs here. There's the crow that took us here. And we're going to eventually ride him back to the asylum. Come all the way around here. And I'll run so that we're not wasting so much time. Come all the way around here, and there's another, I think it's a soul packet. Yeah, so, I mean, you're off to a good start. A lot of souls. You can level up a lot if you are so inclined to do so. But I tend to use the soul I tend to just level only on souls I get from killing, and then use the soul packets as sort of a top-off if I'm trying to buy something from a vendor, and I need, you know, some of the more expensive items in the game you need 20,000 souls for or whatever, and I don't want to grind for that because there's a risk I die or something. All right, so now we're going to go to the next part of the item run. So come down the stairs here, and the first thing I'll point out is this is the Firekeeper. Now, she can't talk. Nothing happens, right? But what she can do is she can reinforce the Estus Flask. So that Estus Flask is, like I mentioned, that's your healing potion. And what we're going to do is we're going to go and get another Firekeeper's soul and give it to her so that she can save keep it. And then in return, she'll buff our Estus Flask. So this stairway here, come around the archway and the stairway here, or shoot for, you see this little cutout in the rock, shoot for that, and you can just fall down into this, save yourself, 5 seconds. Keep on going down here, and we're going to go into a region called New Londo Ruins. So there's an elevator. If the elevator is not here because it's down there, pull this lever and it'll come back up. It is also just weight pad activated. So just step on the thing, and it'll go down. And then now we are in New Londo. All right, so come out and go to the left. There's a soul packet that I probably played this game for like a year and never knew about. So let me tell you now, there's the soul pack right there. Come out to the left and then get it. And we're going to go ahead and grab some of the quick, easy items before we go on to the next part of the item run and the kind of like the cool part of the item run. So every video in the world that does the initial item run hits all these things. So nothing I'm doing here is terribly revolutionary. There's the S-Dock. This is New Londo. This is a very advanced part of the game. And we're not going to try and fight anything here. So note that I haven't fought anything yet. And if you're even the sorcerer with that crappy dagger and that little target shield, you can still do all this stuff. Hell, the sorcerer might be able to fight some of the ghosts down here. Anyway, walk across this bridge. You're gonna find some ghosts come out of the water. You can't fight them. You don't have the a magic weapon to deal with them, and they're cursed. So run across this bridge, and those guys are gonna pop up. Grab the Firekeeper's soul, and then run off the edge. You can use a homeward bone and go back to the fire if you are so inclined, but a homeward bone to buy costs 800 souls, and you have 250 whatever. So to my mind, that's throwing 600 souls away. So just die. It costs you nothing to do it, and now you have the Firekeeper soul. And we were going to go back to the fireplace anyway. There was no way to run out of there and not get dead. So go talk to her, reinforce your flask, and boom. Before even fighting anything outside of the asylum, we have an Estus flask +1. We're in a great place to start this game off. But we're not done. We're going to keep going into what's called the Valley of Drakes. Now, the reason we can do this is because I took the gift, the Master Key. If you haven't taken the Master Key, you can probably go ahead and stop the video until I come back around for Undeadburg, which is the first questing zone. All right, wait for the elevator, and here it is again. Step on the weight pad and write it down. Okay. One last thing before I head into the Valley of Drakes, so we're going to go up there in a second. If you come out of the elevator and head to the right and then down the stairs here, you'll run across this dude, whose name I have no idea what it is. He's a cool guy. No, Rickard of Vendheim. Okay, now I know his name. He is a blacksmith, and he is also, if you are a sorcerer character, he is your first easiest access to sorceries. He sells both versions of Soul Arrow, and there's Great Soul Arrow, which is a more powerful version of the same basic idea. And this is the big sorcery attack spell. It's a medium range kind of magic missile sort of thing. He also sells the basic Sorcerer's Catalyst, which obviously if you started the game as a sorcerer, you won't need. But if you did what I would normally do and start with the Wanderer, you'll obviously need. He'll also reinforce your weapons, and he is a great early access blacksmith. And he can modify your weapons to make them magical, and I want to say that's it, but I don't know for sure. Again, I haven't played a lot of sorcerer characters. He's if you're a sorcerer type person, he's a great resource for you. So we're going to come up here, and we're going to go ahead and open this door with the Master Key. Grab this soul packet immediately to the left of the door, and cross this crappy looking rickety bridge. So the first thing we're going to just kind of point out, that zone there is Blighttown, and if you are a sorcerer character, you should go down there. Now I'll do a video quick later on showing the walls down there, but it's not part of this item run because it's a bit more tricky than we need to mess with. But there's the Crimson Armor down there, which is a great light armor set for a sorcerer type character. Also the Tin Banishment Catalyst, which is a good sorcerer's kind of casting rod that can also act as a spear, and the Remedy spell, which is a good spell to have too. All right, so this sleeping dragon, he is guarding the Astoras Stray Sword and I want to say the Dragon Crest shield. We're going to get the sword, but not the shield. Because if you get the shield, he wakes up. We'll come to him later, then we'll get that back. And then we're also going to get this soul packet. Proud Knight, that's a big soul packet. So why do I want that sword? So here's the mace. It does 91 damage plus 9 more because of my strike. So just shy of 100 damage on the nose. You take a look at the Astora Straight Sword. Oh, look. So it does physical damage. And there's the sword icon to the far left, 80. It also does magical damage, another 80. So I'm doing 160 damage, and also it scales off of my faith stat. Sorry, let's take a look at that again. Under the parameter bonus, it scales off of the strength, the little arm curling, the hand, so your dexterity. In both cases, they both all scale equally. I'm getting 7 points of additional damage from the sword for my strength or my dex, and 7 additional points of damage from my faith as well. So the little explosion on the bottom right is also a C scaling. That's what makes this weapon so great, and it's also light. So I'll be able to put on a little more armor and still light roll. Now, just to illustrate light rolling, I'll put on some heavier armor later on and then show you what medium rolling looks like. And I don't think I'll pick up enough stuff to fat roll, but I'll give you an indication of what that might look like. Actually, if I put on that'll push my weight up. So weight in this game is calculated as a factor of whatever's on your character screen on this window here, it adds to your weight. So I'm putting on a bunch of just heavy stuff with the idea that it'll make me heavy. And yeah, that's a medium roll right there, and that's about the best I can do right now. So you take these things off, and you notice how much more lively the rolling is. That's a light roll. So now we have the Astoras straight sword, which is excellent. All right, we're going to keep on going on the item run. We're going to pick up some more stuff. So these little dragon dudes kind of guarding this bridge, they have a lightning breath attack, and it tracks kind of where you were. Oh, I should put on my talisman. So there's the value of the cleric. You have an out-of-combat heal, so that if you need to use your Estus Flask in combat, you don't blow all of them. So just hug the right wall, and they track where you are when they're casting the spell, not where you're going to be. So you can juke them a little bit, and then just keep on running past this guy. Keep on up here, and there's going to be a cutout in this wall there that leads up to another elevator, which would take you into Darkroot Garden. And we're going to go there eventually, but we want to reset our spawn point at the at the bonfire here first. So the elevator takes us to the top, and we go find the bonfire right here. And we're going to rest that out just to make sure. All right. So now, when I die, it's not an if, when I die, we'll respawn here, which will save us all kinds of time. Yeah, if you ever get summoned or summon anybody else, you'll see them do this thing with the shield. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's sort of the wave hello that you see in Dark Souls. All right, so come back down the elevator. We're going to come back out into the Valley of Drakes. And so now what we're targeting is, you see that little spot of light on the bridge. We're going to go there. And then there's a tower immediately to the right of the bridge aligned with my character's head right now. There's a ladder on that. We're going to climb to the top, and we're going to try and get those things. It does not always work, but, you know, Dark Souls. All right, so they'll target where you were, pick up the brigand set, keep on running, and just sprint. Hold down B on the Xbox and circle on the PlayStation, and sprint, sprint, sprint. Run past all of them, climb this ladder. It's a long climb. There's no way to make this faster. Now, they're going to be just kind of crowding that ladder, so this is a suicide run. And we're going to pick up the red Tearstone ring. So the red Tearstone ring is sort of your emergency mode. So if you're low on health, you'll do more damage, and it might be that thing that kind of pushes you through an attack. Someone else? No. Yep. So just roll off the top. Whoop. Oh. No, I'll be damned. Okay, never mind. Get bathed in lightning and die, roll off the top and die. I mean, whatever. Pop your homeward bone if you're so inclined. But we have 0 souls. There's exactly 0 cost to this. So we're back at the bonfire in Darkroot Basin. So instead of going down into the Valley of Drakes, we're going to keep going up into Darkroot. And we're going to hook a right basically immediately as we come out. So there's going to be 2 things you'll notice. One, there's a Black Knight who wants to fight you. Ignore him for the time being. Pick up the Grass Crest shield, which is an excellent shield. And then run past this guy or get killed. So I got fancy and tried to kick him off the ledge there and see if I could do that. There is a way. I can't fight him right now with my current equipment, but I was going to see if I could kick him off the side and then get lucky on that, but whatever. Put on the Crest shield. So the Crest shield is good It's a 95% physical resist. No. 95% physical resist. It's got good fire resist and okay stability. We'll go into some of that stuff. What's important, however, is it increases the speed of stamina recovery of the user. So physical resist is the resistance when you're blocking. If someone attacks you with a weapon, how much of that damage do you block? In this case, 95% of it. So some will get through, and that's a risk you have to kind of run with. Versus, say, take a look at the spider shield, 100%. And then magic, fire, lightning, so forth and so on. That's the same idea for that appropriate element. And the last stat that we care about is stability, and that's if you take a hit, how hard does that hit affect your stamina bar and your ability to block it. All right, so we're going to come around to the right again, and we're going to get that Black Knight to follow us, and then we're going to keep on running. Run. And he won't be fast enough to kind of keep up with you. So keep up this path here, and we're going to just kind of hug the path the entire time as it goes around. Hug the left wall until you turn around, then hug the right wall, so forth and so on. He'll follow you for a bit, but eventually he'll lose his aggro range and kind of stop following you. Yep, so there it is. So in the far distance, you can actually see Undead Burg. And that's actually where we're going to be adventuring in the first real adventure session. Drop down here and pick up the leather armor and the longbow and arrows. And because I got hit, I'm going to go ahead and heal up. All right. And then just roll off the side here and keep on going. We're going to keep going up. Next thing we're going to find is, so we went down there to get the leather armor. We're going to keep going up here. Next thing we're going to see is a little titanite bug. I've got no idea what the actual name for these things is. Here he is. Wail on him. Just wail on this dude. Don't give him a chance. If you give him a window, he will despawn. He'll just kind of disappear. He drops whatever he drops. A twinkling titanite and a titanite chunk. They can drop large titanite. They can drop all these things. All of these materials, twinkling titanite, titanite chunks, large titanite, whatever, that is the material or resource with which you upgrade your weapons. And you need certain amounts of certain kinds to get to certain levels. So, look it up on the wiki, that kind of thing for those sort of things. But initially you need titanite shards, and then later on you need large titanite shards, and then later on you need, titanite chunks or something. So just keep going up the path, Now when you get up here, watch out for a tree monster on the left here. He's going to try and give you a hug. Just run past him. You can't, I probably could fight him now that I have the magic sword, but run past him. And you're running for this castle here. We're going to run into the back door of said castle, and we're going to dodge. They give this guy a wide berth. So this guy is a sort of a boss that's ostensibly guarding entry into the Darkroot Garden, but if you give him a wide berth, he shouldn't be that bad. He also cannot follow you up here. So this is Andre of Astora. Just give him the old hello. Learn the hurrah gesture. Exhaust his dialogue. Basically, he just talks about blacksmithing and stuff. And he's also who you can go to reinforce your weapons and all that kind of fun things. He'll also sell you. Let's just show this really quick. He'll also sell you titanite shards. So if you want to upgrade your weapons, you can do that. He'll sell you weaponsmith box, armorsmith box, and repair box. These all do more or less what it sounds like on the tin. Your gear, you have to repair it, and then this will allow you to upgrade your weapons and armor as the case might be. He will also sell you a bunch of weapons. Now, we don't need any weapons right now in this particular character, but if you were so inclined to look for a different kind of weapon, if you wanted to make a war pick build or a cestus build, that's where you get it. All right, we're going to come up here. We're going to rest at the bonfire so that if we die unlocking the last part of this shortcut, we don't lose time. Another phantom of another character. Come up all these stairs here, and you're going to come into the back end of Undead Parish. Now, Undead Parish is the zone immediately after Undead Burg, and we'll quest through all this stuff the more traditional manner, but now we're unlocking the shortcut so that you can get to the stuff if you want to. Ignore these enemies. Keep on sprinting, keep on sprinting. Ignore this guy. He is a pain in the butt. And boom. You step on the elevator, and now you have unlocked the shortcut into Undead Parish. Which means you've also unlocked the shortcut to another Firekeeper Soul and another Bonfire and Sen's Fortress and a bunch of these things that you frankly don't need to be messing with at the moment. But you're good. Come on down. Firelink Shrine, just to kind of illustrate. This is the elevator we jumped down a second ago to get all the things before going into the graveyard. And now here we are. Come on down. Rest of the bonfire. If you want to pop your soul packets, by all means, feel free to do so. Level up, all that kind of stuff. But we're going to get plenty of souls killing things on our way to the next bonfire. However, with that being said, I think this is probably a pretty good place to call it as any. Like I said, I hope any of that was helpful. It is an item run that any character can do, and it is helpful to just about every character, especially faith characters, but the Crest shield is useful for literally every character in the game. So if all you do is that, if all you do is go down there and get that, this is useful. The straight sword is nice to have, but obviously certain characters can't use it. And that Twinkling Titanite bug hopefully has some resources that obviously you're not going to use right now, but you have it for later. And the shortcuts are also useful. So this has been Fiasco. I hope you had a good time. And if you like what you see, please leave a like or a comment. Otherwise, I will see you later. This is Fiasco signing out.